Hey friends, first and foremost, Happy New Year. I can't tell you how excited I am to be back here with you for these daily reflections. And once again, I just want to thank each and every one of you for all of your prayers. And I hope you guys have enjoyed your Christmas holidays. I hope you guys are off to a great start for the new year. And just once again, thank you so much for being here for today's daily reflection as we celebrate the solemnity of the Blessed Virgin Mary, Mother of God. So it's a new year. And as Pope Francis says, at the beginning of a new year, the Church invites us to contemplate Mary's divine maternity, the icon of peace. Today also marks World Day of Peace, where the Church also invites us to pray for peace, and the Church offers numerous prayers of peace that we can pray today as we think about praying for peace, not only in our lives, for our families, but also for the world. In the spirit of peace, I've come to learn that the greatest needs that we have in life is experiencing peace and understanding our purpose. And see, often peace follows having really good assurance of our purpose. What does today's solemnity, what does Mary, and what do today's readings have to do with experiencing peace in our own lives? Let's start with understanding the idea of purpose. You see, as I mentioned already, I believe that peace follows a good understanding of our purpose. When I think about Mary, I recall how she embraced God's will for her life, God's purpose for her. But you see, Mary also chose to freely cooperate with God's grace in that purpose. You see, in a lot of ways in our own lives, I believe that we lack peace when we ourselves don't freely cooperate with God's grace or His purpose that He has called us to in life. It is through these different devotions and different forms of piety to Mary that for centuries, Christians have experienced peace as Mary's role not only brings us closer to her Son, but as a result, we experience this perfect peace. Now, when we turn to today's first reading found in the book of Numbers, we see this priestly blessing. And in this priestly blessing, God is telling Moses to tell Aaron, this is the blessing that you are to give to the Israelites. And what really catches my attention comes out of verse 26, where we see the word peace. This word peace comes from the Hebrew word shalom. And shalom itself, the word expresses more than just the idea of peace, but it includes happiness, prosperity, good health, general well-being. And when the Hebrews were using this word and greeting one another with the word shalom, they were including all of these things with that and praying those things for the one that they were greeting. As I think about the new year and as we think about greeting one another that we see, is this not our prayer for them as well? That we would wish our friends and family and those we love a new year filled with prosperity, happiness, good health, friendship, general well-being? And so I love how today's first reading just really reminds us of the importance of what it is that we are praying for one another, and that is peace, shalom, and it encompasses all of the wonderful virtues and traits of what one should experience when thinking about peace. While this particular priestly blessing is being given to Aaron to give to the Israelites, the children of God, the chosen ones, in our second reading, Paul, speaking to the converted Galatians, also reminds us that this priestly blessing, this blessing of peace or shalom is not limited anymore to just the Israelites, but we are children of God. We are not only children of God, but Paul reminds us that we are heirs through God. And what a wonderful reminder from today's second reading that because of Christ being sent into the world, born of a woman, we now experience this freedom that we are no longer slaves, but we are being reminded today that we have become a child, and if a child, then also an heir. And so this priestly blessing and this blessing of well-being and shalom is extending to you and me. Now, a question that we should consider is, are we viewing our identity in this way? Are we attaching our identity to being children and heirs of God? Often we lack peace when we are finding that our identity is not associated with this amazing truth that we are children and heirs of God. When we put our identity in our jobs, our hobbies, our passions, So one of the call to actions and one of the encouragements that I think today's readings offer us is that this is ultimately a reminder that our identity should be in Jesus Christ. You see, this freedom that Paul talks about means that there's an intimacy available with God, but there's also free will. And we have access to this intimacy with God, but that means that we must be accountable and take action daily to experience fully the peace that comes from the intimacy with God. Another thing I learned from today's gospel that I think is important for you and I is the response of the shepherds who, having been told of the things that have taken place in Bethlehem, the scriptures reveal that the shepherds went in haste. And when they arrived, they found Mary, Joseph, and the baby lying in the manger. A question that we should consider is, how are we in our own lives going to the Holy Family in haste? You see, but it doesn't end there for the shepherds. The scriptures also reveal that when the shepherds left, they returned glorifying and praising God for all the things that they had seen. And I think about how important that is for us, not only to go in haste, bringing the concerns that we have to the Lord, but it also requires that when we return to the place that we are in life, that we must continually give God glory and praise. How easy is it for us to dwell and focus on the things that are wrong, the things that are hard? And one of the ways that I think that we can improve our own peace, our own shalom, which is our happiness, our prosperity, our good health, and our general well-being, is to begin each day by thinking about all of the things that God deserves praise and glory for. What are the things that we are grateful for? We experience peace by attaching and recognizing our identity in Christ. We experience peace when we align our purpose with God's will for our lives and freely unite and cooperate with God's grace. And we experience peace when we extend peace to others. And finally, I believe that our greatest peace comes from spending time throughout our day looking for things to be grateful for, not focusing so much on the things that bring us down. I pray for you today that you would experience this amazing peace in this new year. Friends, thank you so much for joining me for another daily reflection. God bless you.